What's up guys, Cody with CDC Off-Road, and today we'll be showing you a 2020 Tremor and how Ford should have built it from the factory. This truck came fresh from the customer. He got it pretty recently. He got it because he thought the Tremor package was going to be an excellent upgrade off-road. Shortly after he found out, well, it's not quite a Raptor killer or what some people thought it would be from the beginning. So he called us and decided, hey, I want to get a performance suspension package, wheels and tires. So we set up with the only way we know how. After we posted our first build with the Tremor, so many people commented, why would you modify a Tremor? So we're gonna jump in this truck, take it for a drive, and explain exactly why we think that this truck could be improved upon greatly. All right, so we're doing our drive impressions on the 2020 Tremor. Again, we can pretty much, try to film videos, things like that, showing, over dips, but really, outside appearance versus the actual ride experience is definitely something different. So I figured I would just give you our 2 cents on the ride. I've had a stock 2018 F-250, and again, this is the Tremor package. So allegedly the shocks are different. I believe the front springs, their rate is different as well. Right off the bat, you can pretty much tell it is very similar to the F-250s. It's definitely a little bit better. However, it's not like a full sport suspension package like guys would expect. This is not a package to compete with a Raptor. Along those lines, like a lot of guys, when this package was first announced, asked, is this going to be a Power Wagon killer or a Raptor killer? That's definitely not the case. I think this is more of like an appearance package. You have the high clearance bumper setup, custom wheels and tires, steps, the electric differential, things like that, which are all excellent upgrades. And if I were to be ordering one of these new trucks, I would definitely go with, I would definitely order this package and then just upgrade it from there. So yeah, right now we're gonna go over our usual dips that we use to test. I mean, we're going 25 miles over it. And as you probably saw by the camera lurching there, even with a gimbal set up just to smooth out small vibrations, the camera moved a ton. The ride is decent. I would say it's probably maybe 5% better than a stock F-250. Again, I had a 2018 myself. This is at the stock pressure as well that the truck comes with. And I do think actually even these tires help the ride a little bit more than the stock tires would on an F-250. I think the stock F-250, F-350 single rear wheel tires are absolutely horrible for ride quality. And so I think this wheel and tire package just help a little bit with the ride. So one of the main areas that this suspension lacks in is wheel travel. So unfortunately, they did not truly level the truck. As you can see from some of the before clips with this truck, the front of the truck is still very nose down. And what happens with kind of a lower front end is you're closer to your bump stop. So we're just about to drive over 2 small drainage ditches. These are like your standard neighborhood dips, right? And they are probably putting the suspension through just about all of its upstroke in the cycle. So if I were to hit these even faster, I can very quickly bottom out the front end. And that is where, Carli with their system, with their custom springs and their custom tuned shocks, the travel is all set up to match, and you can actually get the maximum front end suspension travel out of one of those packages. We're not changing any of the pivot points or anything like that, so your front end geometry does stay the same. You're just maximizing the amount of suspension you can get out of it. Same thing in the rear. These springs are still very stiff. They aren't too much better, if much better at all, than the F-250 springs. So once we go to the full progressive spring pack made by Deaver Spring, we're gonna get a lot more rear suspension movement out of this truck as well. But yeah, so for those of you who bought a Tremor and want to do some hard off-roading, we're gonna show you kind of what we would recommend or how to do a Tremor the right way. Now, starting from the front, we're gonna break down what is included with this King 2.5 kit. Again, this is the Pintop 2.5 system, as we call it. And at the base of the system, you have front coils, brake lines, track bar, all the supporting components like bump stop drops, things like that. The customer opted for a couple upgrades. You have the torsion sway bar upgrade up front, which helps smoothen and lighten out one-sided hits on the front end. Then he also went for the fabricated radius arms. The radius arms, not only do they look killer, they do improve the flex and just the movement that the front end of the truck has. He also has the high mount stabilizer to help control the 37-inch Nitto ridge grapplers we put on this truck. And in the rear, he went for the full progressive spring pack. That is going to yield the utmost ride improvement in the rear. You will lose a little bit of towing capacity, depending on what you're doing. That can be made up for with timbrins or airbags. However, for a lot of you guys that tow boats, smaller camping trailers like that, these full progressive spring packs aren't even actually an issue. You will still be able to handle or still be able to haul whatever you're hauling with this package without issue. Again, the amount of control introduced to the truck by these King 2.5s is immense. Therefore, if you do get an inch of squat or something like that, the truck still handles excellent. You can still maneuver and swerve with your trailer without issue. Now, probably one of the biggest shockers that we experience on these 2020 trucks is just the absolute lack of suspension up travel. So that has both improved, the up and down travel are both improved with the Carli 2.5 system. So for those of you that want to off-road this truck and or bought a Tremor in order to do some off-roading, the factory system's a little subpar. You do a setup like this, you'll be able to off-road at both high and low speeds without issues. Again, this truck has the torsion sway bar, so put in a high flex situation, this sway bar will completely give. I know a lot of the Power Wagon guys brag about having the electronic disconnect on the sway bar. This torsion sway bar is the perfect happy medium. It will flex while off-road, yet still give the truck an aspect of control while on the highway, interchanges, making sharp turns and things like that. As I touched upon while we're driving, the Tremor package really is an appearance package in my opinion, with a few nice cherries on the top. Looking at the shocks this truck comes with, it is essentially stock shocks painted black with a Tremor sticker on them. There's not much damping to them. Ride quality, as I said while driving, I'm pretty sure is mainly made up for in the tires. And off-road performance, I can only imagine. I didn't want to take this customer's brand new truck off-road, but I really don't think it would be too much higher than a stock truck. Simply, the customer just wanted more performance out of this truck, so that's why he brought it into us. We have the Carli tuned King 2.5s. These shocks have custom pistons, stainless steel shock shafts. The tuning in them is not an off-the-shelf, if you will, if you went to called King shocks. These would not be the shocks they would ship you. These have been custom tuned by someone driving the truck to and from work, off-road, things like that. So these are a custom tuned shock package, and the performance is excellent. Now, wheel and tire wise, obviously once we put the leveling kit on it, the factory tires did look a little subpar. This customer decided to go with the brand new Innovate G600 wheel in a bronze anodized finish. You've seen these wheels used in a lot of our builds. Again, we just think this is the top of the line wheel in the off-road market. It's really hard to touch, and we do our best with the cameras to capture every little detail in these trucks. The machining, things like that are really insane and something you have to see in person. Also check out the fully fabricated hubcaps. They are machined, the billet locker up front. It really is a purpose-built performance wheel and tire package, or wheel package. And I don't think there's a more purpose-built wheel package out there for these trucks. So immediately pulling out of the driveway, we're already able to tell there's definitely a difference in the suspension. You're able to, pull out without hitting the brakes, without having to slow down, things like that. And as I said, I think that the biggest ride improvement beforehand with the Tremor was going to be, the change in tires and just the spec of those tires, the compound, things like that. But right now, we now have the full Carli Suspension 2.5 Pintop system, the full progressive spring packs, as well as the torsion sway bar. And now we're coming up on the same dips that we were driving on earlier. We are about 10 miles an hour faster, and it's butter smooth. I mean, before that, we did 25 miles an hour, I believe, over it, and there was pretty much no comparison. Another thing I want to show you is just these small bumps. We're going diagonal over dips right now, and the truck is dramatically smoother, something that we really don't see in a stock truck, right? So in a stock truck, if you were to hit train tracks, things like that, diagonally, it's going to throw the truck around, throw stuff out of your cup holder. There's a phone, there's keys, and there is even a cup in this cup holder right now. And you didn't even hear the keys jingle, nothing came out of the cup, things like that. All right, so the improvement going from the stock suspension, which is supposed to be, again, the Tremor package, that was such an off-road improvement, to this Carli Pintop 2.5 system, it is a huge update. Again, right now, butter smooth over a quite large dip without issue, nothing coming out of the cup holders. It's just overall an excellent package. The high-speed handling of the system, all of these variables, we can go on the freeway right now, we can haul with this truck, we can swerve to avoid an accident, and the truck's gonna be completely composed, yet when we go over dips, train tracks, the ride is greatly improved. With all that said, I think this is how the truck should have come from the factory. story short, I think this is how the truck should have come from the factory. This truck is capable of going off-road low speed, getting into crawling situations. It's got the factory slider step. The 37s help it with more ground clearance and things like that. Also, you can take this truck in high-speed off-road situations, whether that's hunting roads, lease roads, back roads, even in the desert and whoops, this truck will be able to handle it all, as you can see in some of our other videos. And appearance-wise, I think this truck speaks for itself. I mean, I think it turned out great. So yeah, if you're interested in purchasing any of these parts, the links will be in the description down below. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, shoot us an email, give us a call. We'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.